Milwaukee has a number of stately homes steeped in history. The Pabst Mansion, Villa Terrace, Charles Allis Art Museum, and Eline Mansion, just to name a few. Perhaps the grandest of them all is an architectural gem that faces a street once called Grand Avenue. In our Sunday morning spotlight, Daniela Cotto gives us a tour of a magnificent mansion that once hosted princes and presidents.
If you live in Milwaukee, it's likely you've passed by.
It began as a modest, brick house.
A white European-style estate surrounded by an iron fence that's anything but modest.
The Mitchell Mansion was built in 1848. Matter of fact, it was when Wisconsin became a state as well.
Clubhouse manager Jordan Hoffmeyer can tell you the whole story. It was owned by Alexander Mitchell, an immigrant from Scotland.
He ended up being one of the wealthiest people in Wisconsin.
In the 1870s, he became a member of Congress, and by 1876, Mitchell controlled the banking and insurance industry in Milwaukee.
He eventually was the president of the Milwaukee Railroad Company, which actually became one of the biggest railroad companies in the United States.
Mitchell made another architectural impact on the city with the Mitchell Building, which still stands today in downtown Milwaukee, consolidating his ventures in railroads, the grain trade, and banking under one roof.
Over time, his wealth would grow, his house would grow. He bought out his neighbors' houses and would demolish them to have virtually the whole block to work with.
His fortune was said to have been over $20 million at the time. His house underwent some changes between 1848 to around 1870, and in 1872, he hired a well-known Milwaukee architect, Edward Townsend Mix, to transform the home into the elegant French Second Empire-style mansion it is today.
About a 15,000 square foot glass building attached for his wife's plant collection. She had about 9,000 plants in that.
Expansions were made, including the addition of bay windows, the dining room known as the library, and the Belvedere, a 1.5-story wooden structure built for the purpose of viewing their extensive gardens. Some of the mansion's originality is still very much intact.
The main entrance, the tile there is original, the south lounges as well. The walls in this room were all imported from Europe. They were all hand-stamped and brought over, so that's still original. The staircase in the east entry was all hand-carved by a single craftsman. Took him 7 years.
24 lions' heads were carved in the grand, elaborate mahogany woodwork, because, rumor had it, it was Mr. Mitchell's favorite animal.
Mr. Mitchell died in 1887. He died suddenly of pneumonia,
leaving the mansion unoccupied. Fast forward 4 years, when a new social group called the Deutscher Club was created to welcome German-American immigrants in Milwaukee. But in 1895, a fire broke out and their hub was destroyed.
They were either going to get rid of the club because they weren't fully, financially stable, or find a new place.
By 1898, an offer to purchase the mansion for $165,000 was made, and in 1917, it officially became the elite Wisconsin Club. More than a century later, the home still stands, with some of its original stained glass, tile, and marble interior decor.
We have technically 11 solid standalone rooms that you can close the door and have some privacy.
In the North Lounge lies the Persian Room, otherwise known as the smoking room, and the Roosevelt Room, a private study housing Mitchell's personal collection of more than 2,000 volumes of books. In the South Lounge, the Oriental Ladies Room. The Deutscher Club converted the conservatory into a dining room. They added a grand ballroom with an adjacent dining room to host members and their wives. A bowling alley was also built, which became a casual sports bar in 1994.
I do believe we have the best food in town. We host the best events, whether it's weddings, company parties.
Hoffmeyer says they have close to 1,000 members, mostly in their mid-60s. Over the years, the mansion has entertained famous guests, including Presidents Cleveland and Theodore Roosevelt. Most recently, the Wisconsin Club has become an official RNC partner venue for the summer.
I think it's just a grateful thing that we have a building like this still standing in Milwaukee.